Hey guys, I today this is gonna be a controversial video, and I hope that people don't get too worked up, but still I encourage you to comment because I want to hear other people's feelings on this. I want to have a nuanced conversation, and this is what I'm gonna try doing here. Um, and that's affirmative action, dude. Um, and as a minority, affirmative action is a big thing for me and my and our communities right now. I just want to say in advance that I have never been a beneficiary of affirmative action in any way. Um, and that's primarily because I went to schools, to universities that just accepted everyone. Like the community college that I went to, it accepts everyone. Um, the only difference that exists between students there is placement, like for math and language arts and stuff, and that's entirely almost, I mean, aside from the socioeconomic factors coming in before um that influence what types of classes you take, um at least prima facie, um on the face of it, like, that has nothing to do with affirmative action. um and then the online school I went to for my bachelor's, they also, because you know they were specifically set up to serve people doing like correspondence degrees overseas while they were deployed veterans. They accept everyone, they don't turn anyone down. Now, does that mean I didn't do good? I did do good where in those places where I was. Like, I maintained, at least in my sophomore year in community college, or I would say the end of my freshman to the beginning and end of my sophomore year, I maintained basically almost straight A's. I started a little rocky before I changed my major. I got like a, but I think I did fail a few classes, but that was because I was unsure what I wanted to do really, and I eventually made up my mind. But yeah, and then in my last 2 years, when I transferred to that virtual school, which obviously also a big factor is that, again, transportation. It's so hard for me to go anywhere except a virtual school because of my disability. I still maintained like a 3.8 or 3.9 GPA. So just because I went to schools that accepted everyone doesn't mean I didn't do good there, but I just wanted to clear up that um yeah, I have not benefited from affirmative action at all, despite being several intersecting minorities. But yeah, anyways, I just wanted to say that so people, don't think I'm being a hypocrite or whatever. Um, but yeah, I feel like sometimes as a minority, you start to have sort of, I guess, what they call imposter syndrome, where because affirmative action is in place, um I can imagine that some would feel like, is did I get the into this position, or did I get admitted to this school because of my race, because of my background, or did I really earn it? Like, how much weight should the... Again, I'm not opposed to stuff like affirmative action. I completely understand, and I've talked about how, you know, generationally, uh, discrimination and oppression, that affects it. It doesn't go away right when the legal barriers disappear, right? So obviously I understand that, but yeah, I felt, and I imagine others have felt like, yeah, bro, like, I don't just want to be in this position because of my race or even have an advantage. It feels wrong to me in some sense. And again, I'm glad to say that none of none of the institutions that I've been to, not even grad school actually, take that into account. Um and so yeah, you're just left in this weird spot. I know it's I've talked a lot about self-doubt also, but and honestly, again, I think it's worth talking about still, because this is one of the things where a lot of people, both liberals and conservatives, sort of think we're a monolith, that we're all gonna have the same opinions on it. And but yet no one ever bothers asking us directly, right? They talk about us as if we're just pawns in a political game rather than actual people that have nuanced opinions, which I don't know about you, but that's offensive to me. If there's one thing that's offensive to me that I've talked about before, is the inability of the majority to see minorities in this way also, in their thoughts and in their beliefs, as multifaceted and nuanced. And so yeah, and at the risk of stretching this video out, I just thought of there's this show by one of the creators of Seinfeld, Larry David, and he had a called Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's on HBO. Around 10 years ago, when my mom moved in with one of her boyfriends, he paid for HBO back when HBO... I mean, I know it's still on TV, but now it's just a streaming service, right? It's an app. But back when HBO was only on the TV and they had only a select number of their shows on an app, HBO Go, since he paid for it, I started watching Curb Your Enthusiasm, and there's an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm where Larry David meets a medical doctor, and the medical doctor is black, and one of the first things he says to him is like, basically like, oh, so you benefited from affirmative action then. Like, it's literally one of the first things he says to the guy. And he's like, no, why would you say that? What do you mean by that? Are you trying to say that I didn't earn my way to becoming a doctor? And he's like, no. And the entire episode sort of revolves around him trying to clear this misunderstanding up. But I love it because, like, it's a funny way to show that, yeah, like, a lot of us do have those thoughts. We do have those doubts, and I really feel like, again, this is one of those things where the journalists, the media companies haven't bothered to really ask us what we think about it. And I love to, because I know that a lot of my audience is actually like people affected by these policies, minorities and people of color, just like your boy. So I would love to know what you think in the comments. Definitely let me know. Alright, bye.